Listen carefully, because what I'm about to tell you is the truth. Nobody ever dares to say out loud, your belief is your weapon. Not your circumstances, not your background, not the opinions of the crowd. The world will always try to break you, doubt you, and push you into the corner where average people live their entire lives. But you're not average. And the only thing that separates you from the masses is the belief you choose to hold about yourself. That belief is either the blade you sharpen every day or the chain that keeps you weak. People think success comes from luck, from privilege, from some magic formula. Wrong. It comes from certainty. It comes from waking up every single morning and telling yourself, I will win no matter what is thrown at me. That mindset is a weapon. A man who believes he will win is dangerous because he won't stop. He won't fold. He won't accept defeat as a final outcome. He will treat every failure as fuel, every setback as information, and every challenge as a test designed to make him stronger. This is what separates winners from spectators. Most people don't lose because they lack skill. They lose because they lack belief. Let me tell you something harsh. The world respects conviction. When you move with belief, real belief, people can feel it. It changes how you speak, how you walk, how you take opportunities. You stop apologizing for wanting more. You stop shrinking to make others comfortable. You stop living small. Because when belief becomes your weapon, hesitation dies, fear dies, doubt dies. And suddenly you start doing what others only talk about. You take risks, you build discipline, you cut off excuses. And those tiny actions repeated daily carve you into someone unstoppable. Most people underestimate the power of their own mind. They hand over their belief to failure, to fear, to society's expectations. But you, if you want to succeed, you must reclaim it, wield it. You must become the kind of person who decides what is possible, not the kind who waits for permission. And once you start believing in your own strength, opportunities begin to appear where others only see walls. Because belief changes your reality long before your reality changes you. Before any success materializes in the physical world, it is first constructed in the mind. That's why belief must exist long before the victory itself. Most people wait for proof before they commit to their potential, but winners commit before the evidence appears. They understand that belief is not a reaction to success. Belief is the seed that produces it. When you choose to believe before you begin, you give yourself permission to operate at a level others never reach. You stop hesitating, you stop second guessing, and you stop living in the shadow of uncertainty. You step into action with a kind of confidence that feels almost unfair, because it gives you an advantage before the game even starts. Every great achievement, whether personal, professional, or physical, starts as a mental decision. The moment you say, this is mine, everything begins to shift. Suddenly, the brain becomes a weapon, searching for pathways, searching for strategies, searching for opportunities you didn't notice before. When you believe deeply, your mind stops focusing on the barriers and starts focusing on solutions. That shift alone can take an ordinary person and turn them into someone unstoppable. People often say they're waiting for the right moment to begin, but the truth is the right moment is created by belief, not the other way around. When you believe you're capable, you step forward boldly, and that boldness opens doors fear could never touch. The world responds differently to someone who believes in their direction. You communicate with more certainty, you move with more intention, and you radiate an energy that makes others pay attention. Even when you don't know exactly how everything will unfold, your belief gives you the resilience to keep going. It becomes your internal fuel system, your anchor during the moments where doubt tries to creep in. And make no mistake, doubt will always try. That's why belief must be firm, unshakable, and reinforced daily. If you don't build belief on purpose, life will build fear for you by default. There will be times when the path looks impossible, and that's exactly where belief becomes your greatest weapon. Anyone can believe when everything is easy, but those who believe before they begin, those who believe especially when there is no sign of success yet, are the ones who rise to extraordinary levels. They keep moving forward while others stay stuck in hesitation. They take the shot while others wait for permission. They choose action while others choose excuses. Every step they take is backed by a mindset that says, I'll figure it out, I'll overcome it, I'll win. That mindset alone is often the difference between the people who reach their goals and the ones who quit halfway. Belief gives you the courage to start, but it also gives you the strength to endure the long chapters where nothing seems to be working. Those chapters are where most people give up because they don't have belief built in. They treat challenges as signs to stop. But if you believe before you begin, you see challenges as part of the process. you understand that the journey isn't supposed to be smooth. It's supposed to test you, strengthen you, and prepare you for the moment when everything you've been grinding for finally becomes real. Belief allows you to hold your vision steady even when the world tries to shake it out of your hands. Starting with belief means declaring that you will win long before the world agrees with you. It means backing yourself when nobody else even notices you. It means refusing to let fear in the driver's seat, no matter how loud it becomes. When you believe before you begin, you transform from a person with dreams into a person with purpose. And purpose is far more powerful than talent, luck, or circumstances. It gives you direction. It gives you fire. It gives you momentum. And most importantly, it gives you the unbreakable inner strength to continue until the victory you saw in your mind becomes the reality you hold in your hands. Doubt is one of the most underestimated weapons in your entire journey, not because it destroys you, but because it reveals who you truly are. When the world questions your capabilities, when people whisper that you're dreaming too big, when friends quietly assume you won't make it, those moments become a mirror. They show you the gap between who you are and who you're becoming. And here's the truth. Very few people are willing to face. Doubt is only dangerous to those who don't know how to use it. But when you learn to turn doubt into fuel, you become a force that nobody can predict, control, or slow down. Doubt becomes the spark that lights your ambition, the pressure that sharpens your resolve, and the reminder that you're aiming for something far greater than the comfort zone of the average person. Every time someone doubts you, they hand you energy. Most people waste that energy by getting offended, getting discouraged, or shrinking themselves to prove they aren't trying to be too much. But the mindset of someone destined for greatness is different. You convert every bit of doubt into momentum. You look at disbelief and think, perfect, another reason to prove myself right. There is something incredibly powerful about understanding that the very thing designed to slow you down can become the fuel that sends you skyrocketing forward. People don't realize how many champions, entrepreneurs, leaders, and visionaries didn't rise because everyone supported them. They rose because nobody did. Doubt became the friction that built their fire. The world's disbelief became the exact force that pushed them into becoming someone beyond ordinary. When you allow doubt to fuel you, you stop seeing negativity as an attack and start seeing it as free motivation. Every dismissive comment becomes a challenge. Every skeptical look becomes a reminder. Every time someone underestimates you, they unknowingly add another weight to the bar you're about to lift. And the more weight you're forced to carry, the stronger you become. You start building a resilience that people who were praised from the beginning will never understand. You start developing a mental toughness that comes only from being told you can't, over and over, until the voice that matters most, your own, becomes the loudest one in the room. There will be moments when doubt shows up, not from others, but from inside your own mind. That internal voice is often harsher than anything the world throws at you. It tells you you're not ready, not talented enough, not experienced enough. But this is the moment where true transformation happens. When you turn doubt into fuel, even your own fears become signals, not stop signs. They tell you exactly where the growth is. They reveal what you must conquer next. Doubt becomes a blueprint for your improvement rather than a barrier to your potential. You don't run from it. You walk straight toward it, knowing that every time you overcome internal resistance, you evolve into someone stronger, sharper, and more unshakable. Imagine using doubt the way fire uses oxygen. The more doubt you receive, the more intensely you burn. You become the kind of person who gets motivated by the challenges that paralyze others. You begin embracing discomfort because you know discomfort is where your edge is sharpened. You stop waiting for approval because you realize approval is cheap. But pressure creates diamonds. The moment you train your mind to convert doubt into drive, every obstacle becomes a stepping stone, every failure becomes feedback, and every negative voice becomes background noise drowned out by your unstoppable determination. People will doubt you because your vision is too big for their imagination. They will doubt you because you remind them of the risks they were too afraid to take. They will doubt you because your ambition exposes their excuses. And that's exactly why their doubt is priceless. It's proof that you're moving in the right direction, reaching beyond comfort, stretching beyond limitations. Let every doubt strengthen your focus. Let every criticism sharpen your discipline. Let every you can't become a loud, powerful reason for why you will. When doubt becomes your fuel, you stop being influenced by the opinions of the weak and start becoming powered by something far more powerful, your own unstoppable fire. Challenges are not obstacles meant to stop you. They are the exact forge where your strength, discipline, and identity are shaped. Most people look at difficulties as signs that they should slow down or walk away. But those who understand the true nature of success know that challenges are training. They are the test designed to refine you into the person capable of handling the victory you're chasing. Every hardship carries a lesson. Every setback carries an upgrade, and every pressure-filled moment carries the opportunity to rise above your previous limits. When you begin to see challenges through this lens, you stop resisting the storm and start learning how to walk through it with power. The truth is, life will always measure how badly you want something. It will push you, stretch you, frustrate you, knock you down, and then wait to see what you do next. The average person complains. They interpret the slightest resistance as failure. They convince themselves that difficulty means they're on the wrong path. But the ones who succeed, the ones who elevate, they understand something deeper. They know that challenges are feedback. They reveal your weaknesses, expose your fears, and uncover the areas you must strengthen. Instead of breaking you, challenges build you. They reveal the version of you that you've never met yet. And that version is stronger, smarter, more resilient, and capable of conquering levels the old you could never reach. The moment you start treating challenges as training is the moment your entire journey transforms. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what is this teaching me? That shift is powerful because it places you in control. It removes the victim mentality and installs the mindset of a warrior. You begin to see every tough moment as preparation, not punishment. You realize that the world is not trying to defeat you, it's trying to sharpen you for the responsibilities, opportunities, and successes that are coming. Every champion has been trained by adversity. Every leader has been sculpted by pressure. Every strong mind has passed through seasons of difficulty that force them to become unbreakable. Challenges also reveal your true commitment. It's easy to be motivated when things are going well. Anyone can be confident when there are no obstacles in sight, but when the path gets steep, when progress slows, when life tests every ounce of patience you have, that's when your dedication is exposed. If you quit, the challenge wins. But if you rise, if you push, if you face the discomfort head on, you become someone who can no longer be intimidated by circumstances. You become the kind of person who grows under pressure. And once you learn how to grow under pressure, you become unstoppable because most people crumble under the very weight that strengthens you. There is a hidden advantage inside every difficulty you face. The problem is that most people are too focused on the pain to notice the opportunity. But the ones who look deeper, the ones who understand the game, see that challenges are not setbacks, but setups. They push you to improve your discipline, test your character, stretch your capacity, and force you to think bigger and act bolder. They break the old patterns and build new standards. They push you away from weakness and into resilience. When you embrace challenges as training, you stop being afraid of hard things. You start seeking them, knowing that each one is a sign you're evolving. There is a point in every journey where the challenge becomes the greatest teacher. It teaches patience when you want speed. It teaches endurance when you want comfort. It teaches focus when distractions seem easier. And most importantly, it teaches identity. It shows you exactly who you are when the pressure is at its highest. Because anyone can look strong in easy times, but only those trained by adversity can remain strong in the moments that matter. When you treat challenges as training, you don't just survive the battles. You sharpen your mindset, upgrade your skill set, and fortify your belief. You become someone who steps into the world with a kind of confidence that comes from knowing you've been tested and you didn't break. Challenges don't make you weaker. They introduce you to the powerful, refined, unstoppable version of yourself that you were always meant to become. Confidence is more than a feeling. It is a force, a presence, an energy that rewires how the world sees you and how you see yourself. When you move with unshakable confidence, everything changes. Your posture, your voice, your decisions, and the way people respond to you. Confidence is not about arrogance or pretending you're better than others. It's about knowing the value you bring, trusting your capabilities, and refusing to let doubt dictate your steps. The moment you start carrying yourself like someone who expects to win, the world begins to treat you like someone who will. There's a magnetic pull that comes from self-belief, a silent authority that makes people pay attention, even before you speak a single word. The hook is this: confidence is often the thing people judge you on before they judge your talents, skills, or intelligence. You could be the most capable person in the room, but if you move like you're unsure, the world will mirror that uncertainty back to you. On the other hand, someone with average ability but extraordinary confidence can walk into the same room and command more respect, more opportunities, and more influence. That's the unfair advantage confidence gives you. It shifts the room before you've even taken action. When you believe in what you're doing, others start believing too. When you trust your direction, people naturally want to follow. This is why unshakable confidence is not optional for success. It's one of the strongest tools you can carry. Confidence is built, not gifted. It grows from the daily decisions you make when no one's watching. It forms in the moments when fear tells you to stay quiet, but you choose to speak anyway. It strengthens every time you step forward despite uncertainty. You train confidence like a muscle. Small acts of courage, repeated consistently, develop into a mindset that cannot be rattled by criticism or setbacks. The more you push yourself into uncomfortable situations, the more natural confidence becomes. You stop waiting for the right moment to feel ready, because confidence isn't about readiness. It's about willingness. The willingness to act, to try, to risk, to fail, and to rise again. That is what shapes unshakable belief in yourself. When you carry unshakable confidence, you stop apologizing for your goals. You stop dimming your strengths to make others comfortable. You stop walking softly through your life as if you are undeserving of greatness. Instead, you move with purpose. Discipline is the bridge between the world you imagine and the world you actually create. You can have the strongest belief, the boldest dreams, and the biggest goals, but without discipline, they stay trapped in your mind. Discipline is the force that turns your intentions into tangible progress. It's the quiet, consistent effort that most people overlook because it isn't glamorous. Discipline isn't loud, it doesn't brag, and it doesn't seek attention, yet it's the single most powerful tool that separates the people who talk about success from the people who live it. The hook is simple. Discipline is the one thing that works even when motivation doesn't. It keeps you going when the excitement fades, when the challenges appear, and when the journey gets heavier than you expected. Every day you choose discipline, you cast a vote for the person you want to become. Each small choice builds into a pattern, and that pattern becomes your identity. You don't become disciplined overnight. You become disciplined through repetition, through doing what needs to be done, especially when you don't feel like doing it. That's where real strength grows. Anyone can act when things are easy, but discipline is built in the moments where your emotions try to negotiate with your ambition. When your mind says rest, but your purpose says get up. When excuses start whispering in your ear, but your inner standard demands action. These are the moments where winners are built. The decision to push yourself even one step further creates a kind of mental toughness that can't be faked or borrowed. Discipline also gives your belief structure. You may believe in your potential, but discipline transforms that belief into a schedule, a routine, and a non-negotiable commitment. This is where most people fail. They believe strongly, but they act weakly. They want success, but only when it's convenient. They chase improvement, but only when they feel inspired. That's why their progress is inconsistent. Discipline removes inconsistency from your life. It ensures that your effort continues even on the days when motivation disappears. It builds a level of stability that turns goals into systems and systems into results. You stop relying on feelings and start relying on standards. There is also something incredibly powerful about knowing that you can trust yourself. Discipline builds that trust. When you tell yourself you'll do something and then actually follow through, you strengthen your self-respect. You prove to yourself that your word means something. That inner trust becomes the foundation of confidence, focus, and resilience. Because once you can trust yourself, you no longer fear challenges the same way. You know that whatever situation comes your way, you have the discipline to handle it. That internal certainty is worth more than any external reward. Discipline protects your vision from distraction. The world is full of temptations that pull you away from your goals. Comfort, entertainment, laziness, fear of effort, opinions from others. Without discipline, it's easy to drift, to lose momentum, to forget why you started. But when you live with discipline, distractions lose their power over you. You start valuing time differently. You start making decisions based on your future, not your impulses. You stop giving energy to things that don't move you forward. Discipline sharpens your focus until everything that isn't aligned with your mission becomes irrelevant background noise. One of the most misunderstood truths is that discipline gives you freedom, not restriction. People think discipline limits their lifestyle, but in reality, it expands it. Discipline gives you the freedom to build the life you want instead of being controlled by weaknesses or circumstances. It gives you the freedom to walk with pride, knowing you earned your progress. It gives you the freedom to rise in a world where most people fall because they lack consistency. Discipline is the price of freedom, and once you develop it, you begin experiencing life at a level most people will never touch. The final hook is this: you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be disciplined. You don't need to move fast. You just need to move consistently. You don't need extraordinary talent. You need extraordinary commitment. Every day you practice discipline, you sharpen your mind, strengthen your character, and increase your capacity to win. Discipline is the engine behind every achievement, the force behind every transformation, and the quiet, unstoppable power that turns belief into undeniable reality. Your mind is the command center of everything you will ever achieve. And that is exactly why it must be protected with the same intensity you'd use to guard something priceless. Because that's what it is, priceless. Every idea you chase, every goal you set, every action you take begins with the thoughts you allow inside your mind. If those thoughts are weak, scattered, or corrupted by negativity, your entire journey becomes unstable. But when your mind is fortified, when you treat it like a fortress, nothing can break your direction. The hook is simple. The world doesn't have to defeat you directly. All it has to do is infect your mind with doubt, distraction, and limitation. That is why protecting your mental world is not optional. It is a requirement for anyone aiming to rise beyond average. Your environment is constantly shaping your mindset, whether you realize it or not. Every conversation you entertain, every piece of content you consume, every person you keep close is either strengthening your belief or slowly weakening it. Most people don't lose because they lack talent. They lose because they let the wrong influences drain their ambition. When you begin treating your mind like a fortress, you start filtering everything. You stop letting people with small vision advise you. You stop giving energy to negativity disguised as realism. You stop carrying the weight of others' fears as if they belong to you. You become intentional about what you allow in, because you understand that anything that enters your mind has the power to direct your future. A strong mind is built through discipline and protected through boundaries. Boundaries are the invisible shields that separate what is useful from what is destructive. They keep your mental space clear, focused, and powerful. When you start setting boundaries, you quickly notice that not everyone is meant to stay. Some people drain your energy with their excuses, their pessimism, their lack of ambition. Some environments keep you stuck in the same patterns you're trying to escape. Some habits silently sabotage the greatness you're trying to build. Protecting your mind means being unafraid to cut away what slows your growth. If something weakens your mindset, it has no place in your life. It's that simple and that necessary. Your inner dialogue is another major pillar of mental protection. The way you speak to yourself becomes the lens through which you see your possibilities. If your inner voice constantly doubts you, criticizes you, or limits you, your actions will reflect that script. But when your inner dialogue is strong, when it encourages you, pushes you, challenges you, you begin operating from a place of internal power rather than external approval. Protecting your mind means training your inner voice to be your strongest ally, not your harshest enemy. You replace self-doubt with self-direction, fear with strategy, and hesitation with courage. You build a mental environment where belief thrives and excuses die. The world will always present negativity, distractions, and chaos. It's unavoidable. But what you allow inside your mental fortress is entirely up to you. When your mind is protected, criticism doesn't paralyze you, it informs you. Failure doesn't break you, it sharpens you. Pressure doesn't overwhelm you, it elevates you. You don't get controlled by emotions, you guide them. You don't get lost in uncertainty, you navigate through it with clarity. A protected mind is dangerous in the best way possible. It makes you unstoppable because your strength comes from within, not from any external validation. One of the strongest hooks is this: the person with the strongest mind wins, even if they start with less. because mental strength compounds. It influences your habits, your persistence, your discipline, your confidence, your decisions. A weak mind breaks at the first sign of difficulty, but a protected mind welcomes the challenge. It sees opportunity in places where others see problems. It keeps moving forward even when progress feels invisible. And that mindset alone sets you apart from the masses, because most people are prisoners of their own minds without even realizing it. Protecting your mind also means feeding it with the right information. You grow by learning, by reading, by thinking, by surrounding yourself with people who elevate your standards. You train your mind the way athletes train their bodies, consistently, intentionally, relentlessly. You replace mental junk with knowledge. You replace fear with clarity. You replace confusion with direction. And the more you feed your mind with strength, the harder it becomes for negativity to take root. When your mind becomes a fortress, you move differently. You speak with conviction. You make decisions with confidence. You act with certainty. You stop being influenced by the noise around you and start being powered by the strength within you. And once your mind is strong, everything else becomes possible, because the greatest battles are won long before they ever show up in reality. They're won inside the mind of the person who refuses to let anything weaken their belief. So hear me clearly. In a world full of noise, opinions, and weakness, your belief is the one weapon nobody can take from you. Sharpen it, protect it, use it. When life pushes you, push back harder. When people doubt you, let it fuel you. When obstacles rise, rise higher. The moment you decide, truly decide, that you are built to win, the universe has no choice but to respond. Winners are not chosen. Winners are forged. And belief is the fire that forges them. Now go. Step into the world with certainty. Your belief is your weapon. Wield it like a warrior.